Hello and welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. I'm your host as well as spiritual teacher, Tamara Caulder Richardson. I'm also a six-time near-death experiencer, a multiple spiritually transformative experiencer, international evidential medium, as well as Christ channeler. Welcome to the Seeking Heaven channel. Make sure that you check out other past Wisdom Wednesday free spiritual short lessons, and they're down below. They're in my videos, so you can check that out. And make sure that you like and that you make comments and that you share anything that you find helpful for other people as well. So thank you for being here, and consider also being a financial supporter of this channel by becoming a member of this channel, as well as a one-time donation or a monthly donation, whatever works for you. I have the links below. All is appreciated very much. So thank you. And thanks for supporting me and watching my episodes. So let's get started. What do I mean by superpower? So let's first talk about it. What are your 9 superhero superpowers? This is the topic for today. So I guess we should start. What is a superpower? Well, you think supernatural. That means extra natural. It's natural, but a little bit more. So powers, when we look at powers, that is something that is an enhancement of what we already have. Now, we may have things that are gifted to us that we don't see as powers, okay? And it could be many things. It could be the gift of encouragement. It could be, many different things that we could attribute to powers. The gift to be able to persuade, to make people feel calm. There are people that when their presence around, the whole room calms down. That is a power, and so they don't really look at it as a superpower, but it is a special ability. There's other people, kind of like me. I can go to a place and the party starts. Seriously, everybody. Yeah. Seriously, it does. And it's, I went to a St. Patty's Patrick's party, and it was a couple years ago or more, 3 years, and I wasn't drinking or anything like this. I was like, hey, and it was really boring. So I started trying on all the leprechaun hats and pretend I was throwing up in a beer mug, and then they started laughing and people started telling jokes. So, that's an ability. It really isn't a gift, but to get people, out of their comfort zone and laughing and having fun. And there are people that also are encouragers. So this is one type of power. I'm going to even go a little bit deeper into what that is, what I'm saying is superpower. So you can be an influencer of mental states. So we talk about them, an encourager, supporter. Your energy changes the room in a particular way, but you can also as well have true superpowers. And I'm going to go through that with the different ones. So the first one is empathic to others' emotions. Are you someone when somebody walks in the room, you're like, wow, they had a bad day? Or you go, oh man, they're really sad about something. What happened to them? And there are people that just know, and they're just like never wrong. And they just get that feeling. Or they get that feeling, wow, they're going through a transition right now. But they can just empathically pick up that person's emotions. They can also pick up emotions in a room, like these people, I don't like the vibe going on here. This feels like there's a lot of plotting and planning. I don't feel like I'm really supposed to be here. That could be also something else that you just get a sense of when you're empathically at a location or with a group of people. It doesn't have to be one-on-one. That is an ability. The second one would be knowing about the unknown. And so when I was a kid, I was always know things about the unknown. I still do, and it still keeps opening up. I'll wake up and I'll just have information. I was at the Edgar Casey Center a few years ago, 2018, and I was teaching. I was at I was one of the headliners at the psychic conference that year, and I was teaching mediumship, and I used it from a Christ-like perspective and about the soul, and I went over several things, the healing water and grounding and several things. But while I was there, I just started getting a download at Atlantis and started telling everybody. And they were like, I didn't know that some of them were authors of that time. I didn't know that, but they were like, yeah. And so, I think knowing these things are possible will open your mind to possibly just doing them and trying them out. So don't hold back when something's starting to flow through. You're like, oh, how do I know? Well, how do I know that? Universal consciousness is called the Akashic Records. People walk around in an energy field of knowledge popping off all the time. However, I don't want to look at people's stuff because I have so much going on. Unless they're paying me to do it, I don't do that. I don't think it's also ethical. Now, I think there is an exception if you are someplace and you feel like someone's not telling you the truth or you feel in danger, then I totally, you know, look into that energy field and know things. But otherwise I don't. I just don't think it's proper to do that. And it's a little bit creepy. So, but you can know the unknown. And sometimes that happens with a lot of people. They just know they should not take that job. They just know that that person's not telling the truth, whatever it is. And then later on, they find out. So trust yourself, trust your knowingness. Number 3, the third superpower would be telepathic communications. Honestly, people do this all the time. I actually do this for a living. I talk to spirit people and ascended masters in Jesus through thought processes. And actually, I'm still clairvoyant. I have all, I see, hear, feel, know all of it. I have all the clairs. I've had them early on, but I was mainly stronger with clairvoyance, seeing visions like a film strip, and I still get that. But when I found out that I can just hear them talking to me, real quick information, it's very quick, a mind-to-mind information. I was like, gosh, this is so much easier. I'll just tell you what I'm getting. So much easier. But you can too. Let me give you an example. Like my mom will be if she comes over, we may watch something, like a movie or whatever. Um, we're thinking the same things about what we're watching. And then she'll say it and I'll start laughing because I was thinking the very same things. The other thing, you could have a dream. So I was like, wow, I thought that, I had this dream that you were in it and so forth and so on. And then you could be having a similar dream. It's because you're telepathically connecting. But people telepathically connect all the time to their pets. If you're an owner of a cat or dog, or I don't know, bird. I mean, sure, there's a list, but you telepathically communicate because you can't say, "Hey, Bob, how's it going today, Bob the dog?" Bob, fine, owner, how are you? I mean, it's not going to do that. So you're communicating like, "I love you. You're so cute. Are you hungry? Yeah, 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 I'm hungry." And then when they make a mistake on the floor, you would go. You would send the telepathic communication. I'm very upset, and they know it too. So we use telepathy. Don't think that we don't. We do. We can think of someone, and telepathically they get that answer, and they will call us. You know how that works. Or if you're at a gathering, a party, an event, or something of this sort, and you're looking at someone across the room, they know you're looking at them across the room. Even when you turn away, they know that. I mean, eventually you can sense it. So we use telepathic communications all the time, and you can hone on these better. I'm setting up my wisdom school, and I'm going to teach a lot of these things because we're all using them already. We just need to use it in a integrity way. So number 4, planetary healing of energy frequencies. There are people just by their presence, they have such a high vibe that it starts repairing pockets of energetic disarray on the planet, and also people, it relines up their field. There are people that are healers. Well, generally most healers have to learn to heal themselves and then they'll heal others. But what they're doing is they're working with energy in this way to channel it, to direct it to the body. It could be a person, or an animal, to be able to help repair itself and to get the vibration as such so it can start doing that. That is an ability. That's why some people are natural healers. And it's they let the divine channel through their hands or through their mind. I mean, there's remote healing, but it's also, you can, the whole laying of hands thing is there are people that are naturally gifted with that have healing frequencies. They just do. And some are just the presence alone. And some of them don't even know they're doing that intentionally, but they are. and people like being around them. That's a beautiful gift because that's one of a peacemaker. So number 5 superpower would be a seer, an encourager of other gifts. So a seer is someone who envisions what a person should be doing or what their best attributes are. That's me. I'm very always been good as a kid. Well, you'd be great at music, or you'd be so and so. Seems like you really like that. So and so and so. And seer, I also see visions of probabilities. Now, let me make this clear. That's why I'm not a huge fan of psychic readings, although I'm very good at it. I want to really encourage people to be empowered to make their own decisions. And we have multiple scenarios. And we don't just don't have one or two, we have many. So being a seer, we're just seeing in that timeline what could be occurring or what's a better outcome. Okay. So being a seer is also not good sometimes, because sometimes you see things that you can't stop. And so that comes with it. But I think when you use it in a way to encourage people and you see and envision of how their higher self is, it's very beautiful. And number 6, your superpower. Are you a teacher of wisdom and love? And many times people teach differently. You don't have to teach like I'm doing right now, where and this is spiritual teaching. But again, I'm still encouraging you to think for yourself. What works great, what doesn't, fine. Just use what you feel will help you. But there are those that teach. For example, what about the grandfather that takes his grandson out walking and then points things out and starts teaching, and then starts talking about his life, and he's talking stories, which are what? Teaching. And I think the art of storytelling is one that has been lost. And I think it's so important. We need to learn to put our freaking phones down. I mean, I hate talking to someone, they've got it right here, and to really engage with one another, because that's an energy thing. We don't want to put the flow of energy in a item, but in to each other, actually listening and observing and taking it in. So number 7, are you an inspirational muse to others? There are people that just show up. You ever know those people? They show up in their life. They're really exciting. They're there for a while. They kind of get you pumped up about life again. And they're like, yeah, great. If you need me, I'll be around. And then they kind of take off, and you kind of see them on social media, or they do things, but they're an inspirational muse. Many times they're a muse to your creativity, which could be, I believe creativity is an expression of your higher self, right? Working through to put it in this world. How beautiful and magical is that? So it could be an inspirational muse, could be someone that works through art or through music or whatever creative endeavors, creative entrepreneurship type things. But those are those people that come in, they're like, pow, pow, coming and riding in the town, and hey, and then, they get you going, and they kind of move on to the next person. And that's just their personality. So we all have a purpose. Number 8 is the manifester, a manifesting master of thoughts to things. And there are people that can do that. And they, there's some universal guidelines there. I mean, generally it's better to do that yourself and to work on it. You don't want really people manifesting stuff for you and doing all the hard work. But if you're working on something together, like co-partnering, you can manifest together, and you can learn from others how they do it. And you'll find that they have a one-mindedness about stuff. For example, back to music and art, but what about the person says, oh, really? You're going to have a life on the road. You're going to be music. Okay, good luck. And that person's like, no, I've trained, I've done it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do great. And then what happens is they do great. It may not be in a year. It may be like in 20 years, but they've decided it's going to happen. I mean, it's a slow road to manifestation or a fast road, but if they decide I've decided I'm going to be successful in some way, they are. They absolutely are. And that's how we can manifest. But there's some people very good at it because they don't let things stop them. They're more driven with they get excited about their dreams, and they just knock off any negativity, like, I'm doing it anyway. And some of those people come across arrogant and real directed, but they actually manifest these things in their life and get it done. And so finally, number 9, and I was trying to find the right way to define this number 9, and you see it more these days. And I don't know if it's the best wording for it, but it's the best wording I could come up with, and it's called mass mind influencer for good. So there are people here that, this could be like an influencer, like, hey, if it helps, great. Okay, that's one. All right. A spiritual influencer. Okay, great. We can all do that in our own way, but I'm talking about an energetic thing where the mass mind, what they will do is either astral travel out of their bodies, sometimes in meditation or at night, and they will go in mass pockets of the world where there's like a horrible flood in Venezuela or something, and they will send light energy to them, influencing all the depression, upset, and put this mass mind influence on them that everything's going to be well, and they'll send energy. Yeah, there are people that do that. It's just another mission that people are doing, and some of this is not, directly intentional. They're kind of just doing this. Oh yeah, I'm doing that on the side, and so that really could be anyone. It doesn't have to be someone who's a spiritual teacher or anything. It could be someone who's a policeman who's actually doing this. Like, I'm really concerned about that area, but I didn't get that call. That they're doing some energy work. And it might seem like a crazy dream to them. So that's one way they're doing it. And then there's other people consciously doing it that are mass influencing the minds of others. And I'm talking all positive, nothing weird. Okay, we're not going down the. We already know all the negative stuff out there. Just turn on the TV. You listen to. That's not what I'm talking about. But the ones that are influencing people. Like these really uplifting spiritual ascension conferences. I'm going to be doing a couple. Alchemy of Ascension. Well, I'll be teaching examples of it's Christ-like meditation, and having several offerings there, and then also in Portal of Ascension. So, there's beautiful people out there that are trying to create a higher vibration soul community. And definitely this channel, the Seeking Heaven channel, I was channeled by Jesus to do this. So that's kind of high vibe. August 2020, didn't know how to post a video, how to do anything really. And I said, how's that going to work? He said, yeah, I want everybody, religious, non-religious, everybody. He said, let's just make it where people can stretch a little bit, look at different concepts, different experiences, different thought processes, quantum physics, consciousness, and how we are actually pulling the universe toward us to have experiences and have fun along the way. And that's what I've been doing. And during the process, I've built an incredible global spiritual family. And I want to thank you for being a part of that. Look, watch next time, Wisdom Wednesday at 1 p.m. And we also have a part to this, that how do you interact with your superpowers, with your superhero friends? So that'll be the next one. So have a terrific week, and much love to everybody. Please subscribe, like, and make comments, and support this channel by becoming a member. Thank you for your continued support.